Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into the story of an incredible Bible character. Can you guess who it is? Stay tuned to find out. Of all his sons, Jacob loved Joseph the most, for he was the firstborn to Rachel. To show his love, Jacob gave Joseph a vibrant, multicolored coat. His brothers were jealous of their dad's love towards Joseph. One night, Joseph had a dream. A bundle of wheat stood straight into the air, while other bundles bent toward it. When Joseph told his brothers about it, they laughed at his strange dream. In his second dream, stars and the moon bowed to him. The second dream made his brothers really mad. Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers in the fields. The brothers planned to get rid of him, but they thought, why should we carry the guilt of his murder all our days? And then they tossed him into a dry pit. After some time, they saw a band of traders approach and decided to sell Joseph to them as a slave. Joseph was taken away as a slave to Egypt. The brothers, when returned home, they showed Jacob Joseph's bloody coat. Jacob was heartbroken, thinking his beloved son was dead. After reaching Egypt, the traders sold Joseph to Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's palace guard. Joseph worked hard there and earned Potiphar's trust. Potiphar put Joseph in charge of everything. As the days passed, Joseph caught the attention of Potiphar's wife. She saw a strong young man. Joseph refused by saying that it's wrong and would be a sin against God, and then ran away from her. She wanted revenge against Joseph, so she lied and said Joseph attacked her. Despite his love for his favorite servant, Potiphar believed his wife's lie and had Joseph thrown into prison. In prison, God was with Joseph. The head jailer liked Joseph. The prison warden put Joseph in charge of the prisoners. Joseph met Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker in prison. The cupbearer dreamed of a vine with 3 branches. In the dream, the branches blossomed, producing grapes. He squeezed the grapes into Pharaoh's cup and served it. Joseph said the cupbearer would return to serve Pharaoh in 3 days and asked him to speak well of him to Pharaoh. Next, the baker said he dreamed of 3 baskets on his head, and then birds ate the bread from the baskets. Joseph predicted the baker would be executed soon. In 3 days' time, both predictions came true, just as Joseph said. The cupbearer forgot Joseph once he was free. It's been 2 years, and Joseph is still in prison. Pharaoh had 2 troubling dreams no one could explain. Pharaoh dreamed of 7 fat cows grazing in a field. 7 skinny cows came and ate the fat cows. Pharaoh dreamed of 7 healthy heads of grain. 7 thin heads of grain devoured the healthy ones. Pharaoh called Joseph to interpret the dreams after hearing about him through the cupbearer. Joseph said there would be 7 years of plenty. Then there would be 7 years of famine. Joseph advised Pharaoh to store food during good years. Impressed, Pharaoh made Joseph second in command. Joseph stored grain in cities during the 7 good years. Finally, the years of plenty came to an end, and the famine struck hard, affecting Egypt and nearby lands. People from other nations came to Egypt for food. Famine hit Canaan too, so Joseph's brothers except Benjamin came to Egypt, seeking food. Joseph recognized his brothers, but they didn't know him. Joseph accused them of being spies to test them. Joseph demanded they bring their youngest brother Benjamin to prove that they are not spies. The brothers except Simeon returned home and told Jacob what happened. Jacob was reluctant but agreed to send Benjamin. Joseph then tested his brothers one final time. He hid a silver cup in Benjamin's sack. Joseph asked his guard to search their sacks, and the guard found the silver cup in Benjamin's sack. Joseph said, "Benjamin stole from me. He will be my slave." But Judah offered to take Benjamin's place as a slave. At last, Joseph knew his brothers could be forgiven. Overcome with emotion, Joseph revealed his identity. The brothers were terrified, fearing Joseph's revenge. But Joseph said, "Fear not, my brothers. God sent me here ahead of you to save lives." Joseph invited his family to live in Egypt during the famine. Jacob and the whole family came to Egypt to be with Joseph. Joseph embraced Jacob, tears of joy filling their eyes. Pharaoh gave Joseph's family the best land in Egypt. Jacob blessed his sons before he died in Egypt. The brothers feared Joseph's vengeance after Jacob's death. Joseph reassured them, saying, "God meant it for good." Joseph lived to see his children and grandchildren. Before dying, Joseph reminded them of God's promise to return. Joseph asked that his bones be taken back to Canaan. Joseph died at 110, his faith in God never wavering.